Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
We got the Halloween theme around here. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Guys, good morning.
What my pumpkin? I want the pumpkin. I want a Shannon Sharpe carved pumpkin.
What do you mean?
That's what I want.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I just have one question.
What?
Who needs LeBron James when you have Russell Westbrook? Who needs him?
Oh, no.
Just let him stand over there in his civvies. Come on.
Oh, now he's Westbrook.
Yeah.
You've been calling the man Westbrook for the last 2 months.
He closed last night. LeBron watched last night. I got to give him his props.
I want everybody to see. You see how quick he switch up?
Yeah.
Oh, Westbrook. I dubbed him Westbrook.
I did.
LeBron was coaching. He was cheering from the
You saw what he
side.
did.
He was
Get him
doing
on your
his
hip.
best.
Malik, on your hip.
Well, the Lakers got it done. And yes, despite having no LeBron due to a sore ankle, the Lakers had a successful first game on the road last night in a 125-121 win over the Spurs. Anthony Davis led all scorers with 35 points to go along with 17 rebounds. And Russell Westbrook, the guy they're talking about, had his best game as a Laker with 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. So, Shannon, was this the Russ you wanted to see?
Look, this is the Russ I wanted to see, but this is the Russ I expected to see when one of the other superstars is absent. Skip, I've seen Russell Westbrook play with another superstar, Kevin Durant, and put up numbers like this. I've seen him play with James Harden and put up numbers like this. I watched him play with Bradley Beal, who's a star, budgeting superstar, put up numbers like this. We've never seen him play with two superstars, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. So this is another reason why they got him. I don't know if Buddy Hield is going to help you win a game like this. KCP, Kyle Kuzma, Trez Harrell, they're not winning this game because none of those guys are going to go get you 33, 10, and 8. This is why. But until I see all three of these guys play together, yes, Russ was sensational. And you're going to have to take the good with the bad. Yeah, there are going to be some ill-advised shots. There are going to be some times you're like, Russ, what the hell are you? Why are you shooting the ball left-handed? You're a righty. Why do you keep on insisting trying to shoot the ball with your left? You're not LeBron that does everything left except shoot a basketball, who occasionally will shoot it left-handed.
He will.
But he is a lefty.
He is.
But you're going to have to take that along with Russ because the good comes along with the bad. Skip, yes, he did exactly what you said. Yes, he closed. He was in attack mode. I know what Russ can do when he's playing with one other superstar. The question is, or should be, can Russ do what he did last night when LeBron James is on the court? And I don't believe, Skip, he and AD had 58 shot attempts.
Yep.
So if those two have 58 shot attempts, what the hell you think LeBron's going to do?
Good question.
Exactly.
Very good question.
Last night was great. Russ was great. A reason why you get him on a night like this, because they're going to be nights, Skip. AD's going to take off, and it's going to be LeBron and Russ. They're going to be like nights like last night when LeBron is up, it's going to be AD and Russ.
Yep.
But he can win you a game. He can give you those kinds of numbers. The question is, what remains to be seen, how effective can he be? I've gone away with efficiency because that's not what he is. How effective can he be? How impactful can he be with both of those superstars on the court together? But last night, he was everything that you thought Russ would be and more.
Okay. I will give you this. Last night, I saw hell-bent Russell Westbrook. I saw 1,000% attack mode Russell Westbrook. Brook, not Brook, Brook.
Yes.
I saw none of the timid Russ that I saw on opening night or the tentative Russ I saw on opening night as he tried to defer, as he tried to sacrifice. Where do I fit in or do I fit out here? Right. I don't know. I'm not sure. He was 1,000,000% sure of who he was and what he was set out to do last night. As LeBron stood on the bench and watched in gray hat, gray sweater, and what were those gray shorts?
Yeah,
I'm not sure about the gray shorts, but I'll give you those.
That was a nice look.
Because LeBron was in a gray area last night, because I am here to tell you Last night was Russell Westbrook's dream come true. That was the first night when he was able to flex his muscles and say, these are the Los Angeles Lakers I grew up living and dying for in L.A.
Right.
And tonight, I've got this team solo. I am the starting point guard, and I am going to lead the night in usage rate because it is now my team, because our superstar, our king, is on the sidelines. We're going to talk about this with some kind of ankle issue. Right. I don't know what it was, but we'll see. Maybe he was just load managing. We'll discuss that later because they're back-to-back tonight in Oklahoma City.
He'll probably play, and AD will probably sit out tonight.
Okay, we'll see about that. But the point was that the dream come true last night for Russ, to me, will contribute to LeBron's worst nightmare because every game, you can chalk it up as a dub, and I'll give you a dub, and you can say, well, we got 3 superstars now, so when one sits, or maybe even 2 sit, I still have one more that Buddy Hield would not be for me. So we got a dub last night in San Antonio against a not very good Spurs team. It hurts my heart to watch them
But they play hard, Skip.
Okay, they play hard. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But the point was, every game that LeBron and Russ do not play together on the court, sharing court and basketball, or trying to, is a wasted game to me, because last night was a waste because every game you don't play together is a threat to your postseason because you got to figure each other out. And you said, well, I got to give it like 35 games. Well, you're still 35 and counting because last night did not count.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, because Russ just did what he always does because he's the ultimate solo act. He is a stat machine. He almost got his first Lakers triple-double. What did he wind up with?
33, 10, and 8.
33, 10, and 8.
And only 3 turnovers.
And only 3 turnovers. So he had a classic Russ night with only 3 turnovers. And obviously, once again, he goes 1 of 4 from 3, right? So he has fallen for the year from 3 to 2 of 15, which is 13%. That's who
better
he
than
is.
9%.
Okay, that's why I long ago dubbed him West Brick. And from the free throw line, he went 2 of 4. So now he has fallen from the free throw line for the year. What's that, 4 games?
Yes.
7 of 16, which is 44%, which is just not good enough.
No.
Okay, but that's who he is or who he is not. So now, in the end, my biggest takeaway from last night was fool's gold for the Lakers, because you can get all revved up about it, and AD was just glowing after the game about, we need Russ to be Russ. This is when we needed him to be himself tonight.
Yes.
Okay? It's fool's gold because the Spurs actually lost this game more than the Lakers won it. Now, I'll give you, Russ closed because Russ was really good in the fourth quarter and overtime. He made 7 of 10 shots.
Right.
That will work. But you realize my baby Spurs, what's left of my Spurs, were up 12 points after 3 quarters, going to the fourth quarter. And guess what they did in the fourth quarter? My San Antonio Spurs. This is when I knew that Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker were not walking through that door. Last night in the fourth quarter, if we could see this, they missed all 7 of their free throws. How do you do that? How do you do this? All 7 of these. This is my man, Jakob Poeltl. He misses an and one with 5:20. He played great. 5:27 left. That was to tie it. And then here's DeJounte Murray. He goes 0 for 2 with 4:55 left. If he makes both, they go up 1. And then Vassell misses 2 to also go up 1 with 4:36 left. And finally, we got Jakob near the end, 43 seconds left to tie the game. He misses both free throws. When is that ever going to happen? Back in the great old days, when I was the biggest Spurs fan, could you have imagined Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili going 0 for 7 from the free throw line? I realized in Game 6 at Miami in 2013, Manu missed a big one, and baby Kawhi missed a big one. Kawhi, he was 18 years old at that point, and he missed a big one. And they were up 5 points with 23 seconds. 23 seconds. I still don't know how they did that. But the point was last night, I really don't know how you go 0 for 7 from the free throw line, and that's your whole fourth quarter. You shoot 7, you don't make 1 of them.
They were bad all over, Skip.
Okay.
They were 8 of 24 from the field and 1 of 4 from the 3.
Okay, and then my man Keldon Johnson, who made the Olympic team, thanks in large part to Popovich coaching the Olympic team, but he's a guts and glue type guy. Look what he does last night. He goes 2 of 10. Really?
Yeah, he was.
And yet, my man Jakob, loved Jakob Poeltl, And look what he did. Last year, he averaged a career-high 9 points and 8 rebounds. That's his career high. Yeah. For his career, he's 6-6. What did he do last night?
27,
he goes
14.
27-14 with 3 blocked shots. 27-14. That's bad news for AD or Dwight or somebody. Well, I don't know. How do you not keep Jakob from terrorizing?
Well, you saw what they do. They pick and rolled him to death. Okay. He was getting dunked, layup after dunk, layup after layup. I was like, come on now.
Okay, whose fault is that?
I don't know whose fault it is, but that's not Jokic. That's not Joel Embiid. Jakob Poeltl should not get 27-14 against anybody.
14, and he basically kept him in the game. Although I will admit that Lonnie Walker got hot and Vassell got hot from 3 because they made 10 of 16 threes. That sort of kept them in the game.
Especially in the third quarter. That's when they stretched it. But it goes to show you, Skip, those guys, and AD said, hold on, those guys are professionals also. Now, you underestimate somebody, a guy like Jakob Poeltl will give you 27-14. And maybe they underestimated it because I did not see this Jakob Poeltl when he was in Toronto. I never saw a glimpse of a guy that could do this, although he is a professional, Skip, and that's what I said. I love seeing Russ do this. But until he can do something close to this, with LeBron on the court, with all 3 of them, Skip, like you said, it's fool's gold because I've seen him. With one other superstar, Russ can give you a similar line to this damn near every night. But the question is, how impactful can he be when you bring LeBron back into the mix? Okay. Now, I don't know if AD is going to play tonight. He has that knee issue, and he said, I got a lot of drilling going right now, but I feel good. Let's see when I wake up in the morning, after I sleep, how it feels. Am I stiff? Am I going to be able to go tomorrow? So probably it's going to be LeBron and Russ. And he might be able to put up numbers like that again. Because, again, Skip, is he and LeBron will get the lion's share of the shots. But you and I both know if LeBron James is on the court, Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook will not get 58 shot attempts between the 2 of them.
Okay, so back to your man AD before we leave that behind.
Yes.
In the first quarter, he blocked a shot and seemed to hurt his shoulder and went down writhing for a while.
Right.
And then with 32 seconds left in the game, if we could see this.
He got fouled.
He banged knees with
Ain't no bang no knees. The man pushed. The guy pushed him. Skip, look at that.
Banged knees. He just hit knees. He said it stung. That's all. And he went down, and I thought, uh-oh, this could be the end of your year. I really thought, is this it? Is this the end of it? Yet, when they showed the replay, it didn't look like the kind of play that would tear something in your knee.
It looked like a non-contact, like you just went down.
I didn't know, but I do think they hit kneecaps. Okay. I do. I think they banged kneecaps because DeJounte just attacked across the lane, and AD said, I didn't have any problem. He didn't say it was a foul.
I said it was a foul.
Okay, you said it was a foul. And then, just like LeBron, he went Lazarus. He just rose from the grave.
There you go. He went Lazarus now.
All of a sudden, he bounced up, and I'm like, I think he's okay. He's walking. He's trotting. He's running.
And then
what he playing.
And then what he do in overtime? Took it over.
Dominated.
Took it over.
I don't think he dominated quite like Russ dominated.
Oh, he had them putbacks, Skip.
Okay.
What about
he had
them
a few putbacks? He had a few, and he was really good. But what was the statement play of the night was Russell Westbrook. Could we see this going coast to coast for a thunder dunk? Speaking of Oklahoma City, where he started, a thunder dunk that just brought the house down. Here we go. Here's Jakob's miss. And guess who grabs the rebound? And here he comes, and here he comes. And we're talking hell-bent Russ on DeJounte, and he just says, oh, stop it. And over Bates Diop, he just slams it, and this brought the house down. And you know, Mr. Sharpe, why it brought the house down? Because Laker Nation took over AT&T. They just took it over last night. It was shameful. I have been the biggest Spurs fan since George Iceman Gervin back in the 80s, and it was hard for me to watch this game because usually if I'm watching and then maybe I need to hit the restroom real quick, I can just listen to the crowd to tell me what's happening. Right. And if the crowd roars, you would think, San Antonio just made a big 3, right? And instead, if the crowd was roaring, it meant the Lakers. So that brought the house down literally for Laker Nation.
Right. Yes.
Because it even seemed like as the game progressed, there were more and more yellow or gold, whatever you call them, jerseys.
Skip, the Lakers are like your Cowboys. They travel like the Steelers. They travel like the Packers. They travel. They're just certain. The Lakers are going to pack. First of all, they got LeBron. And then again, they got the brand, the Lakers. And we know what the Laker brand is in the NBA. I get it. The Knicks are more valuable. I get the Warriors are more valuable. But nobody brings a crowd like the Lakers because that brand means something. It's synonymous with winning, and it always has been. And now you got LeBron, and you got Russ, and you got AD. So on a given night, Skip, you know, a lot of times when you had one superstar, if he sat out, oh, man, we got nothing. Even though LeBron sat out, you still had Russ and AD.
Yep.
And even if AD sits out, you're going to have Russ and LeBron. So if one of the guys sit out, you still get an opportunity to see two superstars. Russ was great. There's no other way around it. But, Skip, at the end of the day, you know this and everybody else knows this. What does it matter if LeBron is not on the court and he can't do this?
Correct. But I will give Russ this. He actually made 1-3 when it really mattered.
Oh, man, I think, what the?
And it was 5:41 left. If we could see this, this is a tie game.
Yes.
And I'm saying, seriously?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe he shot it, but then he shot it with, they're just daring him to shoot. Jakob sort of.
He shoots all over confidence.
I agree. And guess what? He made it. And he swished it.
Yes.
He swished it. That's his first three of the night, 1 of 4, and that put them up 3 points with 5.5 minutes to go. That was a pretty big shot.
Skip, you and I both know the one thing Russell Westbrook does not lack is confidence.
Nope.
He shoots every shot. You would swear he's Steph Curry.
And the one thing he does lack is memory. He has no memory.
Yeah. He forgot.
Right?
He forgot. They erased his memory, Skip.
He's like a great cornerback. He doesn't remember the last play.
Right.
He just plays.
Good, bad, or different. He's Russ.
And then speaking of making threes, we got to show what your new starter last night, Malik Monk, did with just 58 seconds left. He took a 31-foot three. This is 5 feet beyond the three-point line, and he took it with Russell Westbrook confidence and just ripped it. And look at the box score. I don't think I've ever seen. Look at his plus minus of your starters. He's plus 31. I've never seen a box score like this. How can you be? He played,
nobody else was even double figures.
He played 39 minutes and he was a plus 31, and nobody else was even close to double figures. The high would be Bazemore with 6, right, of the starters, and your whole bench was minus.
Yeah,
and
except Dwight. Dwight was plus 12.
I'm sorry, Dwight was plus 12, but. Even your man Carmelo, he fell back to earth with a thud last night, but that was predictable. 1 of 7 and 0 for 4.
But Skip, it was AD and Dwight lineup in the fourth that really turned this thing around and got going because they were challenging everything.
Going big.
Yes. There was nothing big. Everything was getting contested at the rim. AD would block one, Dwight would challenge and block another. So it was them that in the fourth that really turned this thing around that all of a sudden the Lakers were able to get back, get some stops, and make it on the other end. But it was their free throw shooting down the stretch. You can't go 0 for 7 because you could have iced the game. You could have finished the game off at the free throw line. Yeah.
So my man, Coach Popovich, says after the game, I'm so proud of these guys. And I'm thinking, you're proud of 0 for 7? I mean, once upon a time, Pop would have been out of his mind snapping the heads off of reporters for asking after the game about 0 for 7.
Well, Skip, that's when he had 4 Hall of Famers. You got Kawhi, you got Tony Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan. That's something entirely different than what you have right now. He understands he has a young team, but Skip, they play hard. They get in and out of their sets. They move the basketball, and Pop even wanted to move with faster pace than what they were playing with last night.
Kept doing this.
Yeah,
go.
But Skip, when you're young, and AD said it, when you're young, Skip, you don't know what you don't know. You just get up and down the court.
So finally, my man DeJounte Murray got off to a slow start, but then he put up huge numbers because he goes 21, 12, and 15. That'll work, right? But he had a shot that was a pretty clean look to change our conversation, right? We wouldn't be having this Russ conversation. No, it's just off the free throw line. I mean, this is a pretty good look over Carmelo, and he just left it a touch short.
He hit a couple of those early.
He did, and if that goes in, we're talking about Russell Westbrook.
No, Russ would have brought him back. Russ was not going to let him lose. Russ and AD said, we're not losing tonight. Well, so we're not going to give Skip Bayless material to talk about tomorrow morning.
Well, that shot was like 2 seconds left, so I don't know. Would somebody have hit a bomb?
Russ would have went from one end to the other.
Would he?
Yeah.
Okay, coast-to-coast Russ.
Yeah.
I loved him last night. I don't think LeBron loved him. No. I think LeBron's over there just watching a horror movie saying, I got to figure out how to play with that.
And Skip, we've talked about this ad nauseum. There are games that Russ will be able to win you. that Buddy Hield will not be able to win you. And I believe this is what LeBron and AD's thinking was. If we have an off night in the playoff, we need another superstar. That's what makes the Nets almost unbeatable in a series. Because if James Harden and KD have an off night, Kyrie could go get 35, 40. If Kyrie, James Harden, we know what KD can do. We know what James Harden can do. The question is the likelihood of a role player going to get you 30. Now, we see an anomaly like a Terrence Mann did against Utah, Skip, where he goes and get 39. But that's few and far between that we've seen role players have those type of impact on a game. We superstars, that's why you get them. Because of the playoffs, there are more times than not to come up big for you.
Yep.
So for me, I just need to see them get some time together on the court. And come All-Star game, I think this thing going to be a fine oil machine.
Is it?
And you will be sitting over there sweating. Shirt be drenched. Like somebody poured a bucket of water on your head.
I'm cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, you cool right now. You cool right now. Cause we for what we 5 games in, 4 games in. But
all I know is it's now on to Oklahoma City for the second night of a road back-to-back, but that's of your first 15 games. You have 12 home games, and you have 3 easy road games.
First of all,
really?
Look, hold on.
Who made the schedule? LeBron.
It's 82 games.
Yeah.
You play 42 at home, 42 on the road. So if you play this many home games early, guess what that means late? You're going to play a lot of your games late on the road. It's okay. It's going to balance out.
LeBron called the commission and said, hey, I need to call in a little favor here because I got a new guy in town and I need some easy games to try to figure him out.
Here's the thing. Now, maybe next year, maybe LeBron says, hey, commission, I need you a favor. Like games 35 through 50, I need it home because I'm going to break the record. Maybe then I would say, you know what, Skip, I don't know, it look a little suspicious. We got like 12 games at home in a row in the middle of the season. But not now.
Well, maybe you could play a G League schedule. I don't know.
Although they also not San Antonio G League guys.
It kind of looked like it last night.
Man, stop it. They just a young team, Skip. They got some young players that play hard. Lonnie Walker came in just bombing away.
I like
Vassell just bombing away.
Yep. Think they're going to make the playoffs?
No. He say all that. He say all that.
Thank you. Next.
No mercy.
After former USC quarterback Carson Palmer speculated Mike Tomlin could be a wild card to fill the Trojan head coaching job, the Steelers coach emphatically denied the rumor when asked about it yesterday. Take a listen for yourself.
Hey, guys, I don't have time for that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time that I address it. And not only today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never. Okay? Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check.
Anyone else? All right.
Thank you. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? You know, anybody asking Andy Reid about stuff like that?
We are not asking him again. Shannon, what do you make of Tomlin's reaction?
That's why I love him. Matter of fact, Mike. Just the facts. Just the facts. I can understand why he's getting upset. He's like, hold on. I got a job at a cornerstone franchise, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've had 3 coaches since 1969. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and myself. You want me to go back to a program that everybody think is great, but they're not what they... In the 60s, in the 70s, they were great. When they had Pete Carroll, they were great. Skip, they had one 10-win season in the 80s, none in the 90s. And Pete Carroll went to USC and put them back on the map.
He did.
And a college, Skip, even Alabama. And Alabama is great. But the Pittsburgh Steelers is a cornerstone franchise. He's never had a losing season. He's gone to a Super Bowl and won it, went to another one and lost it. And he says, hold on, why do y'all keep throwing me up? Okay, why don't y'all ask John Harbaugh? Is he going back to college? Why don't y'all ask Sean Payton, Andy Reid? What is it about me? Tell me, have I not won enough? Have I not done enough to be beyond reproach about going back to this? I can see if I'm coaching the Steelers, Skip, and I'm not having success. That would be well-founded. But I've never had a losing season. Who else can say that? Can even Coach Belichick, who is... Coach Belichick is in a class by himself when it comes to NFL coaching, but Mike Tomlin doesn't have to take a back seat to Andy, to Sean Payton, John Harbaugh. He's in that same breath.
Listen, to me, he doesn't have to take a back seat to Belichick.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but Coach Belichick, you would know Coach Belichick's not going. But he said, guys, why do y'all keep coming up with, why do y'all even follow over some bull jive like that? Because somebody throws it out there, y'all run up in my face. But my question is, why y'all keep throwing my name out there? I've given you no indication. And the Steelers have given you no indication that they want to move on. Because that's what they do. They extended Mike Tomlin. So he's straight. And they don't fight. The one thing you can say about the Rooney family, Skip, before I turn it over, they don't succumb to the media and they don't succumb to the fans.
Nope.
You can boo and all that. We want somebody, we want this or that. But the Rooney family, they've been at this far too long. And they are a chip off the old dad's block. Chuck Noll walked away. Bill Cowher walked away. And it's probably going to be the same way with Mike Tomlin. He's probably going to walk away on his own free will.
I would bet the same
thing.
So
for me, and I get Mike's frustration. Y'all keep coming up with this bull jive. None of the other coaches have to come through, oh, you going back to college. Are you going back to college? Why? What is it about me that y'all keep asking? Y'all know what it is, but I don't want to say it.
Okay, so just for the record, before I go, do you sense some racial undertone to this?
Of course it is, because that's why he's like, well, why my name? Like you said.
Because he brought up Sean Payton and Andy Reid, obviously white coaches, okay?
They don't, and they're tenured, Skip. It's not like Mike Tomlin's in his second year or third year, Skip. He's tenured. Mike Tomlin's been there, since 2009?
Okay, do you sense some racial sort of undertone to the questions being asked of him?
I just want to know why does his name, of all the coaches and the success that he's generated, why does he come up in this? I get Skip, Nick Saban went back because Nick Saban wasn't having success. I can assure you, had he gotten Drew Brees and had started having success in Miami, Nick Saban would not be at Alabama. But he could not tolerate losing.
Okay, but he had won a national championship at LSU.
College.
Okay.
And he wanted to test his merits at the next level.
Okay.
Just like Urban wanted to test his merit at the next level. Mike Tomlin said, I'm at the next level, at a cornerstone franchise. I ain't going nowhere. And stop asking me this bull jive.
Okay, to your first point, when Mike Tomlin says, this is a joke to me because I have one of the best jobs in all of professional sports, you can make a case he has the best job because of his ownership in the cornerstone franchise and the bedrock ownership of the Rooney family. You could argue it's the best job.
Right.
And he has lived up to it by producing for 15 years. This is 15th, but in 14 years, they've made the playoffs 9 times, and that's pretty great.
Right.
Okay. You know how big a fan I am of this man. I've constantly told you, if I could have played your sport, the one man I would want to have played for is this man. Every time I hear him speak, before or after a game, I want to go play.
Right.
I want to go play after I heard that. Because this man commands the microphone and he commands his team.
Right.
I know he's had some issues with AB and it got a little out of control. And we were talking about, is he losing the locker room because he can't control that one diva wide receiver? But in general, over time, he has been the best commanding officer before and after games in the league to me, to my eyes. So I have nothing but the highest regard for his consistency of demeanor and performance as a head coach. He does not waver. I don't see him ever lose his poise or his control. He's always in command of the situation. Okay, so this threw me a little bit of a curve when he threw out Sean Payton, Andy Reid. Because it did smack of some racial undertone to me.
That's why he threw it out there.
Okay, I got it. But I can also argue back that it's something of a compliment that he would be brought up because nobody ever thinks about Andy Reid coaching anywhere in college football. That's a joke to me. And Sean Payton, I don't know, would anybody ever think that he could go be a savior somewhere in college football?
So Mike Tomlin said, why me then?
Okay, no, but I got you. But remember, USC is still viewed as, your stats are all correct, but it's still viewed as a sleeping giant. And the other name, the college that he's been linked to is LSU, another sleeping giant. Saban won a national championship. It rises and falls.
Well, LSU is a lot better job than USC. Skip, USC is a rebuilding program. Mike Tomlin said, at least link me to Alabama. I'm just paraphrasing. Link me to Alabama. Say, I'm going to replace Coach Saban. You link me to a rebuilding program. How many coaches have they had since Pete Carroll, Skip?
Okay, but why did that happen? Because Carson Palmer, I believe he's on Dan Patrick, and said, Yeah, he's being talked about. That Mike's at the top of the list as somebody he mentioned as a long shot, but somebody we would love to get if we get. Well, who wouldn't love to have Mike Tomlin, right?
Yes.
And Ryan Clark, my friend from ESPN, who obviously played for Mike and played at LSU, has talked openly about, boy, would I love to see Mike at LSU? Sure, but it's like pie in the sky. It's like dream come true kind of a coach, right?
But guys don't leave cornerstone franchises.
I got it. But there's some compliment here that anybody would even consider. Well, you could argue he's the best. Like he's so good at what he does now that he could cross over and coach kids in college football, and they would perform for Mike Tomlin.
Well, I think he's looking at like, would Frank Vogel be linked to going back to Duke when Coach K retires? You think Frank Vogel will be linked to Duke?
Frank Vogel?
Yeah.
Well, like, he's not good enough to be linked. Nobody would.
He's at a cornerstone friend. Why would anybody leave?
Frank Vogel's just a product of LeBron James.
But he won a title.
Well,
people might say, well, he's a product of Ben Roethlisberger. Whatever the case may be, Mike Tomlin says, my credentials says, and I'm at a cornerstone franchise. Why would he? Yeah, of course. Well, since you would like to have somebody, why not say Coach Belichick?
Yeah.
I mean, we really like to talk to Coach Belichick. Why not him?
Okay.
They got some boosts because he said David Griffin, if I'm not mistaken, is a booster of USC. We worth about $5-6 billion. Spielberg, they can write a check.
Yep. Well, he's saying nobody could write a big enough check. They could write a pretty big one.
I listen, Mike. I ain't gonna say
listen.
Yeah, I listen now. You know, ain't no harm in listening.
But you know what? I don't think Mike would listen. It wouldn't matter how many zeros you put after that.
How many y'all got out there? I mean, Coach Belichick. You know Coach Belichick got, could y'all do that?
Okay.
Huh?
Coach Belichick would. But if you offered Mike Tomlin $1 billion to go coach the USC Trojans, you think he'd do it?
No, I think about $15 million a year would get his attention. Might have his undivided attention.
No, let's do the pie in the sky. Let's go to $1 billion. Would he do it for $1 billion? I don't think he would.
How about this?
I don't think he's made that way.
Give him that. The guy at Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. I forget the coach's name. It's off the top of my head, Skip. But he got a 10-year deal.
Yeah.
Give Mike Tomlin 10 years, $160 million. I think Mike might take a listen.
I don't. No,
Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher.
No, okay, you're talking about football.
Football at Texas A&M. He got a 10-year deal, and they just redid it, so he basically making $10 million a year. Well, he just right around Coach Saban. He became
a made man because he just beat Saban at Texas A&M, and that's your goal, man.
He's first former assistant to beat him after 24 tries.
He's been rumored as a hot candidate to go to LSU.
Because remember, Skip, he was the OC under Saban.
No, I got it, but again, we're now talking about apples and little tiny oranges.
Right, but we see guys leave a college program and go to a bigger college program. Mm-hmm. Coach Saban was at Michigan State. Mm-hmm. He left, went to LSU. Yeah. He went to the Miami. And then he goes back to Alabama. Mm-hmm. So, Skip, we've seen guys leave basketball, football. Mm-hmm. We've seen them leave programs and go to other programs. We don't normally see head coaches in the NFL with coordinators, sure, but we don't normally see head NFL coaches leave a job, no matter what the job. It doesn't have to be a cornerstone franchise. Leave a job and say, "No, I'm going back to college." When did we ever saw that, Skip?
Okay, I got it. But remember that former Bills GM, that Doug Wally, who used to work with Tomlin when he was part of the Pittsburgh franchise. He went on a Pittsburgh radio station the other day and said that the Steelers should be concerned about both USC and LSU. And I don't know what his inside knowledge is, but obviously, would USC and LSU love to have Mike Tomlin?
Of course.
Sure they would.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if he's just sort of shooting from the lip about,
He might be trying to get Mike another contract extension from the Roonies.
Okay, well, it's possible. Okay.
Because I don't see Mike Tomlin. And now people might say, well, hold on. Big Ben only got a couple more years, and then, yada, yada, yada. Skip, people will start to spin. It's not like he has a young quarterback. He doesn't have a Joe Burrow. He doesn't have a Herbert that's going to be there for 10, 12, 15 years.
Yep.
He got Ben this year, maybe another year. And then what? Because it doesn't seem like they got the replacement in the pipeline.
Yep.
So maybe they're looking at like, I mean, does Mike want to rebuild? Because if they lose Big Ben, but that's not how Steelers don't look at it as rebuilding, Skip, because they say, look at our defense. Look at what we've placed around it. We don't rebuild, we reload.
Yep. Well, once upon a time, listen, USC has been a storied program.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
In the 60s and the 70s, when they had McKay and John Robinson.
They did, and they owned Southern California recruiting. And if you own it, you're going to win national championships. So it's sitting there as a sleeping giant because it's the one that could own it.
Bryce Young, guess where he's from, Skip? California, modern day. Guess where he's playing quarterback at? Alabama.
Guess who?
Najee Harris, a 5-star recruit from California. Guess where he played at? Alabama.
Guess who the #1 pick in next year's draft is going to be? Kid named Thibodeau. I watched him against UCLA the other day because he just took the game over, and he's at Oregon.
Right. So,
and he's from L.A.
When Pete Carroll was here, you wasted your time coming to L.A. Because all the big modern day and all these Long Beach, all these guys, they going to USC. Now guess where they going? They going to Ohio State. They're going to Alabama. They're going to, like you said, Oregon. So now they're coming in here. LSU, Skip, I can just recruit Louisiana, Florida, and Texas. Maybe dip in Georgia, and I ain't even got to fly west. Nope. I just stay right there. I'm a 8-hour drive or a 2-hour flight, and I beat anybody in the country.
I got it. Okay.
Why would I take USC? I'm man USC. Steven Spielberg better put me on a picture about my life before I even think about something like this.
Are you campaigning for the USC job?
No, I'm just saying, Skip. I mean, it's going to take a lot to get me to get up out of Pittsburgh, man. And then I'm like, nah, I'm good.
No. I think he's good.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. I just had a visual of Shannon Sharpe as the USC football coach. I feel like recruiting-wise, though, Shannon, you'd be a good recruiter.
Yeah, I've been
recruiting. You get them all.
Yeah,
you get everyone. How could I
go in there and talk to the mamas and eat them neck bones and black-eyed peas and cabbage. Yeah. Sometimes you got to eat casseroles, too, because some of those linemen, they mom be making casseroles. I go in there. I know how to smooth with them. Yeah.
You would win over all the families. I have to agree. All right, another team in L.A., LeBron James. Of course, he's the leader of that one. Well, he had to sit out the Lakers' first road game of the season due to ankle soreness last night. The good news for LA is they still managed a 4-point win over the Spurs without him. It's the first game this season that LeBron has missed for any reason, and the King is listed as questionable for tonight's game against OKC. So, Shannon, was this more about the ankle or about load management on the first night of a road back-to-back?
I think this is why you have a guy like Russell Westbrook. You don't have to push the envelope for LeBron James. Any little nick that LeBron and AD have, there's a good chance, Skip, they're going to miss. Because now you still have two superstars to help carry you. Where last year, maybe you forced AD because AD had a little growing issue and you put to play and he ended up missing. LeBron had to play. Now, Skip, when you have three guys, one can sit and you still have two, and on a given night, on most nights, you're probably going to still be favored, unless you go against Brooklyn or somebody like that. But you're going to be favored in a lot of these games, even with two superstars. And so I think the thing is, it's so early in the season. Why risk it? It's the same ankle, although it was injured in a different spot. Don't even worry about it. Russ say, I got this. AD say, I got this, and went and gave you 35 and 17. So for me, yeah, it might have been a back-to-back, but I just think the thing is they're going to be overly cautious because, like I said, LeBron is not 30 anymore. He's 36, about to head to be 37. Yep. And so the last thing that you want to do is something that's minor to become something that's major. So for me, that's all I'm looking at it as. It's like being smart, being proactive instead of reactive. So why even risk it? You have Russ, you have AD. They got to win. There's a good chance. We'll see how it is tonight. I believe he'll play tonight. Maybe AD sits down, but that's the luxury that you have when you have three superstars, that if one gets nicked, has a minor injury, you still have two, and you should be good to go.
Shannon Sharpe, I believe I just heard you make the case that this was far more about load managing than about the ankle injury.
Well, if it's nicked, why even push it?
Okay, here's my issue with LeBron. He is so fiercely, stubbornly proud about, I don't load manage. If I'm healthy, I play.
Right.
In fact, I pulled out a quote from back in 2019 when he said, he went third person. LeBron's healthy, LeBron will play.
Right.
That's all I'll talk about. I don't talk about nobody else but me, and that was directed at Kawhi Leonard.
He say he ain't talking about. Didn't he just tell you that?
But between the lines,
ain't no between no lines.
That
He told
quote
you.
is aimed at number 2. And that's okay with me because Kawhi is the master of load managing. And it started under Greg Popovich in San Antonio. And I believe Greg Popovich actually invented it because nobody was better, treated his superstars better than Pop did.
Remember, he got fined, Skip. He said he sent the big three home when they played in Miami, and he sent them back home.
Sent them on Southwest Airlines.
Back Tim home. Duncan, 7 foot tall, sitting in Southwest.
And the problem with that was a TNT game.
Yeah, I think he got fined like $250,000 for that.
And again, you just can't do that. And he was just blatant brazen about it, like in your face NBA. I'm just sending them all three home on Southwest Airlines.
Yeah, I'd have got me a private flight. Ain't no way I'm flying that.
Well, okay. So, all right, the point is that to me, last night had to be mostly, I'm going to go 90% about load management. And I got no issue with that if LeBron would just own it occasionally, but he won't own it at all.
Well, but hold on. You said the most important thing for LeBron James right now is Kareem. Missing games doesn't get him closer to Kareem. So which is it? Is it he cares about Kareem or he doesn't?
You just said he's 36 going on 37.
I know exactly what I said.
Year number 19.
Yep.
And this is a road back-to-back against teams that you should beat. So he can sort of justify last night because it's like, it's Spurs. I'd rather go Oklahoma City. I'll just play the next night. But let me finish. I want everybody to understand that he went down with 6:30 left in the second quarter of the Memphis game.
Correct. Sunday.
Okay. Sunday night. If we could see that, please, just to demonstrate how bad it looked at the moment, because I don't know, it looked bad. It was like AD last night, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, is this it? And he's grabbing the same right ankle that cost him 26 games, and I thought, oh, and then for a second I thought he was grabbing his knee.
Right.
I didn't know what it was. Sometimes he can be the melodrama king, but he bounces up and he's literally bouncing. He started bouncing after he got up. Okay. Then I want everybody to understand that was 6:30 left in the second quarter. After that, he played 25 more minutes of that game to get to a grand total of 40 minutes. So after the ankle, quote-unquote, injury, and I don't doubt that it got tweaked, but Vogel made the strong point, different spot, different kind of injury, not the same thing that happened last year that cost him 26 games. So to me, if you can play 25 more minutes on that ankle for a grand total, 40 is a lot of minutes to play, and it was great. He was very good. He's making his threes. We're going to talk about that a little later in the show. It's almost like a new LeBron. He's become one of the better jump shooters in the game so far. We'll see how that
is going to continue.
Maintains.
It will.
But the point is, then I was shocked last night when I hear just before tip-off, he's out. Well, and then I thought, okay, well, they're just saying it's early in the year. We can win this game without you. And if wins are important, that's fine. So win the game without him. But then they make it all about the ankle for LeBron's sort of image and ego. Because he won't own the fact that he needs occasionally on a road back-to-back, you should miss one of those games.
Didn't he tell you that he feels worse when he doesn't play or he doesn't play major minutes? Okay. Now, I need you. So which is it? LeBron James is playing for Kareem or he isn't? Because by not playing, he doesn't get closer to Kareem.
Okay, but you don't want to derail your shot at Kareem by playing too much too soon and get hurt, right? You don't want to risk it.
Oh, so
you need to pace yourself because you've already written it off. It's a done deal. You're ready to throw the Kareem parade, right? Because you said it'll be next year, mid-year. So it's already a done deal. So there's no reason to rush it too hard. You want to pace yourself a little bit so that you don't risk a major injury.
But if I'm not injured, what would I be risking?
Well, I don't think he was that hurt. I'm sure it was a little sore, but could he have played last night? Do you believe he could have played? If he played 40 minutes and 25 more on that after what we just saw?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, you can play a lot of times as adrenaline's going. You can continue on in the game.
Okay, that's what AD said last night.
Once the game is over and all of a sudden you start to decompress, you wake up and that thing's a little stiff the next morning. You're like, oh, okay.
Okay, but if it's a little stiff the next morning, I promise you, if you played 25 more minutes on it, it's going to be okay.
No.
Yes.
No.
You know it, and I know it.
Hold on.
This was load management, and it's okay. Just accept it, embrace it,
it's not,
cherish it.
when GOAT is healthy, GOAT plays. He's made that abundantly clear to you. Does anybody else want to ask anything about load management? I think he's made that abundantly clear.
Yeah.
That when he's healthy, he plays. If he's nicked, he's not going to play.
Well, I'll never say never, but never will he ever own the fact that he load manages.
Why would he? When have you ever known GOAT to load manage?
Often.
No, that's not what we do.
But it's always, I've tweaked something.
He did.
Stop it.
The man said
you think he's going to play tonight? Is he going to play?
But Tom Brady played.
Said yes.
But Tom Brady played all last year with a torn this. And you believe Tom Brady? Anything Tom Brady says?
Torn MCL.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe him because he had major off-season surgery.
If he played, hold on.
And did he come right back and start playing on an MVP case?
Hold on.
Yes, he did.
If he played 1 year with it, he can do another year. Why not just wait till after you're done playing football to get it done?
Well, you got to get it fixed.
Why? You played a whole year plus the playoffs on it. So why was it so pressing to get it done now?
Well, obviously, is he not better this year than he was last year? Yes. Is he not more mobile than he was last year?
That's not what I said.
You better believe it.
All I'm asking you.
He's moving. He's grooving.
I don't know about all that moving. I don't know about all that moving. Slow down. He was speed walking. But anyway, as I was saying, if he played one whole year on a torn MCL, played the playoffs, won the Super Bowl, was Super Bowl MVP, why couldn't he do it another year? Why
because he knew he could take it up a notch if he just got it fixed so he didn't have to wear the brace or
he still wear the brace.
I know he's wearing the brace, but he's not wearing a mental brace anymore because he knows he can slide his feet. He knows he can push off on his left knee much better than he did last year.
So LeBron James said, what I'm going to do now, instead of just going through and playing through these little ticky-tack injuries, I know now I can take off and I don't really worry about my team being losing a ball game because we got Russ and AD.
Okay, which brings us to the ultimate question here. Which is more important right now, seeding going into the playoffs or playoff chemistry? Because I'm all about playoff chemistry.
Oh, we're going to get sweepstakes. Okay. We're going to be clicking on all cylinders, and we're going to be the one seed.
Are you? Okay.
See how we do that?
Okay.
Sweepstakes.
Yeah. If I were Frank Vogel, if I were up to Jeannie Buss, if I were Rob Pelinka, I would be favoring playoff chemistry more than seeding. I wouldn't care about some fool's gold of a win over the baby Spurs, who are not going to make the playoffs, who made no free throws in 7 attempts in the fourth quarter.
That's not our fault.
Yeah, well, it's fool's gold. Jakob Poeltl had his career night against you, which was shameful. And it was also a Lakers away from home game at San Antonio where Laker fans just took over the whole arena.
That's what we do.
So you shouldn't worry about that game. You should worry about...
That's why we sit him down.
Okay. Russ and LeBron should play together as much as possible, right?
If we're healthy, we will play. If we're not healthy, we're not playing. How about that?
Well, all I know is LeBron took a night off, and I'm fine with that.
LeBron ain't take no night off. The man was nicked. Why won't you accept that the man was nicked?
Nicked?
Yes.
How do you play 25 minutes nicked?
How do you play a whole season on a torn MCL?
That's a good question.
Exactly.
Thank you for asking that.
Exactly. I got somebody. I need somebody. I'm going to talk to Dr. Elatron because I got his number.
I do too.
I got his number, so I might call and see
I've got his number.
How plausible.
I talked to him not too long ago.
Plausible.
Yeah.
You know what the term plausible means?
Yeah.
Yeah, how plausible is it?
This is exactly why one guy is the GOAT, Tom Brady, and the other guy is the phony GOAT, LeBron James. Thank you.
Tall. Boy, they tell him. That he told, whoo, that thing like General Sherman.
How do you win a Super Bowl on a torn MCL the whole year? You play through it. I don't know.
You know, they got a big old sycamore.
On top of goat.
You know, the biggest tree on General Sherman is a sycamore. Man, that thing huge, Skip.
Yeah.
That's about to tell he told.
Really?
It's about that big, way up there.
So are you accusing Tom Brady of lying? You just said he told the tale.
There you go.
Right?
Okay, how about he misspoke the truth? Exaggerated.
Misspoke the truth.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, are you watching? I know you do.
Hold on.
Misspoke the truth, said Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. He put you in your place back the last time you guys were on some Zoom thing.
Yeah. How about this, Skip? It called for a pinch of yeast, and he added a fourth of a cup of yeast.
A fourth of a cup of
he made it grow a little bit bigger than what it was.
Well, it's either torn or it's not torn.
I'm just
Which
saying,
is it?
Skip.
Torn or not torn?
I'm just saying.
On the record, Shannon Sharpe says...
I don't know.
L-I-E, lie.
No, that's not what Shannon Sharpe said. I need to talk to Dr. Elatrosh or Dr. Andrews or Dr. Stedman. I need to talk to somebody else, and they can give me more insight into what...
The ultimate source is called Dr. Elatrosh because he did it. He fixed it.
Yeah, okay.
He had to reattach it. It was ruptured.
Okay. Oh.
And I know once upon a time, Phillip Rivers got huge credit for actually playing an AFC championship game.
On the torn ACL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Tom Brady plays a whole season, a new season, a pandemic season in Tampa Bay, and wins the Super Bowl on a torn MCL, and you give him no credit.
So a torn MCL is a worse injury than a torn ACL.
They're pretty much the same.
No, they're not pretty much the same.
I think they are.
No, I don't think so.
I think on mobility, yes, they are.
No.
How do you figure that?
No, because torn ACLs. Because I've never seen anybody play the entire season on a torn ACL.
Well, maybe nobody's ever tried.
Yeah, no. Huh? No. Now, obviously, if John Elway played his whole career without one because he had his torn, had it removed in high school, but he played with a brace. But I've never heard of someone tearing an ACL at the beginning of the season and continuously play, regardless of the sport.
That's why this man's the GOAT.
Stop it.
Yep.
Like I said, that thing's starting to look like General Sherman. Big sycamore. You need to look it up, Skip. I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
Because I want to see it for myself, my own eyes, see if it's as big as they say it is.
Tom, he called you out again.
No, I did not.
He called you an L-I-A.
No, I didn't. No,
you don't need any more of that today.
He misspoke the truth. That's all.
No more.
No mercy.
Fox Bet Super 6 wants you to stack the cash. Scan the QR code, download the app, and enter the free-to-play NFL Sunday Challenge contest. Make your picks and then invite your friends to play as well. The more people who enter, the bigger the jackpot gets. Well, guys, Dak Prescott is expected to practice today with the intention of playing Sunday night against the Vikings. When asked about Dak's chances of playing in that game, Jerry Jones said during his weekly radio interview that, quote, "I feel very good about where Dak is right now." Jerry also said he is much less worried about Dak's calf compared to his shoulder injury this preseason. Something to keep in mind. So, Shannon, what % chance do you give Dak to play Sunday?
Well, Skip, I did not know. I know some great medical programs. I know Duke has a great medical facility, UCLA, Stanford,
Vanderbilt.
Let me finish. Yeah. Let me finish. I did not know Arkansas was known for their medical program. But I see that's what Jerry got his degree in, is in medicine. Yeah. So
I don't think Jerry got any postgraduate degrees, but go ahead.
So with that being said, if Jerry says he's not worried and he's properly diagnosed Dak Prescott, I'm going to go with Jerry on this one. Jerry says it's not even a thought. I think he said something to that effect.
It's not even in my thought process.
It's not even in my thought right now. So I will leave it at that. I will take Jerry's word for it because Skip, the thing is, look, the trainers have run everything by Jerry. Jerry, he should be good to go. We checked him out. He's not sore to the touch. He's walking around. He's out of the boot. We'll see how practice goes today. Yeah. But all indications, the arrow, the needle, or whatever term you want to use, Skip, is pointing in the right direction. And so that's what Jerry, I believe that's what Jerry is basing it on. Yeah. Given the information that's been given to him, he says he believes Dak is okay and he has no concerns. But if there was any concern, if Dak, I would not send Dak out there on that field less than 117%. There is no such thing. If people say 110, 150, the 100 is as high as you can get. But if he's not 100%, Skip, Dak Prescott's going to sit his butt down. Because the last thing I want him to do is to aggravate it or possibly re-injure it. And then here I am stuck and I might have a situation on my hands like Michael Gallup. I hope that's not the case. But Jerry says he's okay. I'm going to take Jerry at his word. I'm going to ride with that.
Okay. The God's truth is you have no idea about this cap, and I have less idea. Look, Jerry Jones has talked often about his mortality, how it's starting to close in on him, and he's starting to worry about, will I ever see the Super Bowl again in my lifetime? And I believe that he is giddy with over-optimism about this team, and I don't blame him because I'm getting to the same place. We heard Troy Aikman speak last week about, man, you just love what you're seeing, and it's hard not to buy completely into this team, and that's where Jerry is right now. I also believe he's trying to speak into existence the fact that this is no big deal. Because you also know, as I often know, about calf, they can be strained, they can be torn, they're just hard to predict or deal with because they can nag, they can linger, they can flare.
Right.
And that's what scares me about this one. It was bothering him so much that he did limp off the field after the play of the year for my Dallas Cowboys. Okay? And he did wear a boot the rest of that day, but then on Monday we saw him at the facility not wearing a boot. I don't know what that means. You said you shot him at the Stars game and he was not wearing a boot and apparently not really limping. I've said with my calf injuries, a lot of times you can really hurt it, but you can still walk fine, but you can't push off.
Right.
So I have no idea, and I hope Jerry's right, but he also referred to a quote from Zach Martin from last year when he tore his calf on Thanksgiving against Washington at home.
Right.
And he said, some days it feels great. Jerry referred to this quote yesterday. And some days it feels like you got run over by a bulldozer. Okay. Well, is that what Dax is? He going to roller coaster through this week? I don't even know if he's going to try to do anything. They said he's been, all of his workouts have been in the pool where you have no weight bearing, where you can just
buoyancy of the water.
Okay. Fine. I'm good with that. And we saw what Dak did during training camp. They just shut him down.
Yes.
And I kept saying, even the last preseason game, just give him one series. No, we're giving him none.
Listen, no, we good.
And they were correct about that because he played not just well, he played great at Tampa Bay on opening Thursday night.
And he's played great ever since.
And he hasn't missed a beat. He just stayed right on course. Okay. Is this a meant-to-be year where it just all falls into place? We're going to talk about, is this, in a few minutes here, is this the Cowboy team with the best shot since the 90s dynasty to get to a Super Bowl? I'm feeling yes. Well, if I'm right about that, sometimes the injury gods just smile on you and it's just going to go away and be okay.
Right.
And I hope it is. But I'm with you. They just came off a bye week, and maybe they'll say it's like a 2 to 3 week injury.
Right.
Maybe they'll just shut him down and take the L, because I do not think Cooper Rush can win the game Thursday night. I mean, Sunday night, which is a Halloween night, unfortunately, at Minnesota.
Right.
Because I think they're pretty good, and they'll be better than we are with Cooper Rush.
Yeah. Skip, I'm just basing it on basically how, when I was in Denver, Steve Antonopoulos always relayed everything. Now, Mr. B, rest his soul, was not as talkative. He did very little talking, and he definitely didn't have a radio show or a TV show. But
what owner has?
Exactly, other than Jerry.
Yeah.
But Skip, but what he would do is relay to Mike and let Mike know, okay, he's pointing in the right direction. I don't know. We'll see how it is on Friday. We're going to hold him out until Friday and see how it goes. For Jerry to be as boastful as he is on a Tuesday, he has to have gotten reassurances from the athletic trainer that everything is pointing in the right direction.
Jerry doesn't blurt. He likes to play GM, so he likes everybody to feed him all the information. A lot of things you hear on his radio show, some assistant coach told him about CeeDee Lamb.
And it comes off like, man, Jerry be knowing. Jerry don't be knowing. Jerry be gotten told.
Right. He's just repeating. He's just parroting what he got told. So I'm with you. I'm pretty sure Jim Maurer, the trainer, has been there forever, since back in my days there. And I'm sure he called Jerry and said, all signs point to, yes, he'll be able to play. Well, has he practiced? No, he has not practiced. Will he practice today? I don't know. I'm doubtful he'll practice.
But here's the thing, Skip. Look, obviously you would like for Dak to practice Wednesday and Thursday, but let's see how it is on Friday. He might have to go, see what he can do a little something on Friday. Because it's not that major. Dak knows the offense front with and backwards. He has a great rapport with everybody. It's not like anybody is new. So Dak knows what he needs to do. They know Dak. And so probably they might hold him out until Friday. And then he'll try to get some light work in on Friday and see how he feels. He doesn't have any soreness, no setback. He's going to probably be good to go.
All right. So here's my final and biggest concern about Dakota Rain Prescott.
What is that?
I used to call him Iron Man because he was just indestructible. He didn't miss a start until that fateful, October 11th of last year, when he got career threatened with his ankle dislocation and fracture. And he went from Iron Man to injury prone, because then the weird lat pull or whatever it was in training camp, first day of padded practice, and now we got a calf pull. So are we starting to see him come apart a little bit? It bothers me.
Well, I think But Skip, you know the thing is, like, when you hurt something, it's hard for you to get fully all the way back. It's going to take some time, and hopefully you don't have a setback. You hurt something, and then because you're basically just trying to get the ankle strong, you forget about the calf, you forget about the hamstring and the quad that goes along with that. And so you're probably going to end up possibly could tweak something on that same leg.
So are these, the second and third injuries, are these sort of repercussions from the first one? Because in camp they're saying he's just trying to protect the ankle a little bit, so he's throwing a little bit differently. He's using his upper torso more than his legs because he's afraid to really swivel onto the left ankle, right?
Well, that's what those exercises are for before the game. You see him do it like Shakira. Yeah. So I was like, okay.
Tom House special.
Yeah. So I mean, whatever he is doing is working.
Okay, but it didn't work in training camp because he pulled some weird, it was like a baseball pitcher injury, right? And now he comes down on the throw of the year and plants, I'm sorry, it's just right, yes, it's right calf.
Because he threw off his right.
Yes. And he plants, funny, as he said, and he goes, is he protecting? You know, is it just like overprotecting? Yeah. Is this all like reverberations of the first career-threatening injury? Maybe so. I don't know.
Throw.
Yeah. It was
Skip, he's going to be fine. Stop. See, there you go. You trying to sell this. This is not a drama, okay? Yep. People going to tune in. And you trying to sell it. You trying to, you trying to tease. Oh, Dak might not play. Well, you know good and well Dak going to play.
I don't know good and well. Why would you say that? I have no earthly idea.
Dr. Jerry said it.
Well, I hope this is just sheer melodrama because drama is real. I don't want real drama. I want melodrama.
What's not to believe about Dr. Jerry? Dr. Jerry said, hey, call it Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones, stat. He says it's okay. Why would the man the man said, hold on. He said, this injury is not even in my thought process of things to worry about. Why would Dr. Jones say that if it wasn't true?
Well, he went to medical school up there in Fayetteville, so you're right.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some fine doctors that came out of the University of Arkansas.
I do too. I like the University of Arkansas.
Why did you go there then?
Numerous times. I went to a little better school.
I mean, it's okay. Yeah. Y'all been getting the breaks beat off you, too. You don't think I didn't see Georgia put 62 on you and you only scored like 40 points this year.
I'm just waiting for baseball.
Now you wait for baseball. What about basketball? You got to get the basketball.
We're pretty good. We got Coach Stacks.
Y'all just keep collecting the SEC checks.
We've actually signed some kids. I think we're going to be pretty potent in basketball. We signed some of the top kids in the country. Here we go again.
Well, here we go where?
Pipeline. NBA pipeline.
Y'all ain't got no NBA pipeline.
MLB pipeline.
Okay, I give you baseball, but y'all stop.
Watch.
No mercy, and I won't back down.
The Braves won the first game of the World Series 6-2 over the Astros yesterday, but they lost pitcher Charlie Morton for the rest of the postseason after he fractured his fibula on a comeback line drive. However, Morton stayed in the game. He threw 16 pitches on that broken leg before finally leaving the game when he struck out Jose Altuve on a sharp curveball. That's incredible. Shannon, you obviously played a violent sport. You've witnessed tons of gutty performances in all sports. So what is the most courageous playing through pain moment you have seen?
Probably Jack Youngblood playing the Super Bowl with a broken leg. I don't know how you do that, Skip. Barely you can walk, let alone the man of the defensive lineman, and played in the Super Bowl. And I think sometimes, Skip, that moment, knowing like, am I ever going to get an opportunity to play in this Super Bowl again? Or Tiger Woods playing on a torn ACL in the U.S. Open? I think
he also had a fracture. Like a hairline fracture.
Exactly. Yeah. And to swing that torque. But I think Jack Youngblood. Skip, I had a teammate of mine that tore his ACL on the first play of the kickoff and played the rest of the game. But for this man to pitch and to drive off that fractured leg and to try to torque his body and to throw 90, 95 miles an hour, and the pain just, Skip, you know, you can gut it up for a while, Skip, and it's really like, oh, I can do this. But after a while, that pain will take over, and you're like, nah, I got to shut it down. But he, under those circumstances, that was a phenomenal performance. But I would say Jack Youngblood playing the Super Bowl, playing an entire game with a broken leg is probably the most impressive thing that I've heard.
Okay. I'm with you. Charlie Morton now ranks way up on my list of courage.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea how you could throw 16 more pitches. That would be severe pain.
Yes.
But now I'm back to something I always tell you about pain and injuries. that I've always wished there was some machine that could be invented. This is back in my earliest days of sports writing. And I wish there was a machine I could have hooked up to Shannon Sharpe, and I could put my hand over here in this part of it, and I could feel for 10 seconds what you're feeling with the injured hip you have or whatever it might be.
Yes.
And I could say, oh, God, how is he even walking with that? Or I might say, oh, come on, that's not that big a deal, right? Because you just don't know somebody's pain threshold or tolerance. We're all different, and every injury is completely different. And sometimes if you tear your ACL, it doesn't hurt so much as you just lose your mobility.
Yeah, you have it's just all, it's like Jello.
Yeah, you're like Jello. Okay, so is that pain threshold? I don't know. It could be. Broken leg. I'm not sure about it. Okay, so back to Jack Youngblood. I covered those Rams teams, and I was very close to Jack Youngblood. I didn't cover that years because I just moved to Dallas to become columnist at the Dallas Morning News. But he was my best source on all those Chuck Knox Rams teams, and he was a stud. He was the team leader.
He was tough.
And when I needed to know the guts of the truth of what was going on, I just went to Jack, and he would flat out spill it. And I could just put it right into my notebook and right into the Los Angeles Times. So I admired him greatly, and he was the driving force of those teams that made it all the way with Vince Ferragamo at quarterback to the Super Bowl. But I remind you, he broke his leg against what became my Cowboys in the first playoff game, that run. And it was at Texas Stadium. And guess what? It was Roger Staubach's final game. And Roger completed his final pass, unfortunately, to Herb Scott, his offensive guard. That was the last pass that he threw. But the Rams pulled off a huge upset, 21-19 that day. And they marched on and won at Tampa, remember, 9-0. And he kept sucking it up and playing. And to your point, once they got to the Pittsburgh Steelers,
he wasn't missing
in the Rose Bowl, you know, like out in there in Southern California, he is not going to not play. He's just going to suck it up and gut it up and gut it out. I don't know what the pain tolerance required was. I'm not sure. But he did have a fractured leg at that point. Okay? I'm going to go all the way back to my Ali days, the early days, when he fought Ken Norton in the first fight, and it was those days they put it on network television with Howard Cosell at ringside. So I watched the whole fight, and Ali gets his jaw broken in the second round of a 12-round fight and lives to tell about it. He just keeps on keeping on. Ken Norton was a bad man. I don't know if we know Ken Norton Jr., his son, obviously. But listen, Ken Norton was 6'3", about 225. LA Times sent me up to Big Bear before the third fight to do a big piece on Ken Norton, so I got to know him there. But he was a huge human being who packed a wallop.
All of them was bigger than Ali.
All of them were bigger. So my point is, how do you get your jaw broken and then stand toe-to-toe with this man and trade shots and keep getting hit in the jaw for 10 more rounds? How do you do that? That's pain tolerance.
It is. But Skip, when you think about playing, I mean, as an athlete, as a player, you know, everything is played with waist down. So imagine trying to push off that leg, trying to, they Skip, they know, they see it. Because back then, it's not like it was subtle. Man, he was like a mummy. Because he couldn't even bend the leg, Skip. They had basically like it casted his leg. And so he's like there with peg leg like
you're talking about
Jack Youngblood.
Skip,
so he's out there like one leg hobbling. And he's got to take on the double team. He's got to try to beat a tackle. He's got to try to get to the quarterback. I mean, the thing, like I said, and he knew it. Ronnie Lott taking his finger off, like, well, you know, if you're not going to be able to play, Ronnie Lott cuts the tip of his pink. Come on.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
That's just crazy. I'm not going there.
Yeah, so you know that hurt to cut your finger off.
I don't know about that one. But for me, because I was the biggest Ali fan, the pain tolerance of that man all the way to the third Frazier fight, Thrilla in Manila, they nearly killed each other. They both wound up in the hospital. I don't know. You can say adrenaline kicks in and takes over. But when you're going toe-to-toe, slugging it out with a man you don't like because he hates you, right? Because remember, he just...
I think it started off as fun, and then somehow it went drifted over to hatred for each other.
Especially before the Manila fight. It got ugly.
Yeah, he said some things that, and Joe didn't take kindly to it.
He did not. And so Joe tried to literally kill him, and Ali vice versa. And Ali did not want to go out for the final round, and Dundee had to push him out because he saw that Joe Frazier was not going to come out. So that was where it got to. That's pain tolerance.
But Skip, the human body will do a lot of things. We see people that run marathons, Skip, and their body shut down, and somehow they crawl and get themselves across the line. But to be able to play, because at that point, Skip, you're just trying to finish. You have to realize that when you're doing something as a professional athlete, especially at the highest level, you're trying to win. Finishing is just not good enough. Tiger Woods just finishing this to Rocco Medio is not good enough. That's not the story. Nobody's going to care if he loses that he played with an he played golf with a torn ACL and a fractured tibia. That's not the story.
It went to a Monday playoff.
It went to exactly.
And he just thrashed him.
I don't think they have to do it. I don't think they have. They play. Do they still play final rounds, or they still in the 3 now?
They did away with it.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
they should have.
They should have. Come on, I got to play a whole round of golf. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
got it. To do that, I mean, I don't know, Skip. I don't know that broken leg, Skip. That's a bit much. Well, but this kid right here, that was special.
He's not a kid anymore because he's 37. He's bounced around.
Oh, Charlie Morton, is that old?
Yeah. Gee. Yeah, and this is his second stint with the
But he made a name for himself.
He did.
They win the World Series. He's a hero.
I want to congratulate him on that.
He can go anywhere in Atlanta. He go anywhere in Atlanta. They win this series. He go anywhere in Atlanta. He good. Well, Charlie Morton good in Atlanta.
He got him off to a great start.
He'll be like Tom Glavine. He'll be like Tripper Jones. They're baseball. Obviously, Hank Aaron. He's no longer with us deceased, but they're royalty. He'll be royalty in Atlanta.
Yep.
That was an incredible performance. I'm just bummed no one over there had any hockey references. I thought maybe we'd get one. Maybe one. You know, there's just so many.
I mean, they play with no teeth all the time. So they get like 5, 6 teeth knocked out and keep on, don't even miss a shift.
Far too familiar with no teeth, in my opinion.
No mercy.
So far this season, we've seen a totally different playing style from LeBron. His average shot distance is over 18 feet, which would be the longest of his career if he keeps it up. For the first time ever, he has also made 4 3-pointers in 3 straight games this season, and his 14 points in the paint is the 3rd fewest of any 3-game stretch of his career. So, Shannon, do you like this new LeBron?
I don't think this is a new LeBron. I think LeBron is trying to feel out what's the best way, what's the most effective way that all 3 of us can coexist on the court, and we maximize our abilities while we're out there. He's trying to find spacing, and he's playing a lot more off the ball with Russ being ball dominant. He's also ball dominant, but it seems to me that he has a better chance of being able to change or morph into something different than Russ. And so we see him taking more shots from the perimeter. We see him shooting more threes, and as Russ has the ball more in his hands. So I don't think this is a new Russ. I think he's feeling it out. What's the best way? How can I be the best LeBron while also getting the best out of Russ, while also getting the best out of AD? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's not about LeBron. I know LeBron on any given night can go get me 25 to 28 points, 10 rebounds, or 8 rebounds and 10, 11 assists. But is that going to be the best for the overall makeup of the team? How can I make sure I do my part while maximizing those other guys' part? And so I think that's what we're starting to see, Skip. And so I'm not saying that he's not going to continue down this path. I'm just saying right now I believe he's just trying to feel this out to see what's the best way that I can be LeBron while helping this team grow. So when it comes playoff time, we'll find oil machine. But hey, he gonna keep making these threes like this. Will be a lot of do this year.
Well, is he?
Yep.
Is he? I don't think we have any 3-point do bet.
Yeah, we do.
I don't
37%.
37? I thought it was just free throws.
No, 37.
37%.
37%. And if you keep talking, I might bump it up to 40 because I'm feeling good.
Okay, well, he's at 48%. Through 3 games, that's 14 out of 29 attempts. That means he's averaging 10 attempts a game. The last 2 years, he was at his career high, 6.3 attempts per game. The last 2 years with no Russ. So don't give me this is about Russ. I got to fit in or fit out.
But Russ.
Right? No, it's nothing about Russ. It's the new LeBron. It's the late career LeBron. It's the LeBron chasing, wanting to pass Kareem because he has figured out that 3 counts more than 2.
You know what, Skip? It's funny that you said that because I know 2 other guys that later in their career didn't drive the ball as much. One was named Michael Jordan. The other name was Kobe Bryant. And nobody said this was the new Michael Jordan. This was the new Kobe Bryant. It was a transformation.
Was Jordan attempting 10 threes a game?
Oh, you said he couldn't shoot them. I mean, he shoots 32%.
Why would nobody cared? They did not value the 3.
Well, that's what's It's time. It's the times of changing. It's kind of like the running back position. People don't value the running back like in the 90s, like they did in the 90s, like they do now. I mean, now nobody thinks about the running back. They're like, oh, that guy's replaceable. You see what the guy in Cleveland did? That was the third or fourth string running back that ran for 150. So the emphasis is not there. So times change. So the times have changed, and LeBron is adapted.
So far this year, he's attempting, LeBron James, only 4 free throws a game because he knows he's not very good at making free throws.
They're not giving us those calls.
Again, he attempted the last 2 years career lows of 5.7 and 5.7. So that's the last 2 years. Now it's all the way down to 4. And I think he'll hover somewhere down around 4.
They're not giving us the calls that they normally give us. You see that, Skip. They hit the man all upside his head. They foul him. He looking at him. They say, get up and play on. So that's what we're going to do.
If you shoot 10 threes a game, that means you're not driving it very often because you're only going to take so many shots a game, right?
Well, we're shooting 10 threes. We're going to shoot about 20 times a game, so we'll drive the other. Will
you?
Yeah, we'll drive 6. We'll shoot 4 mid-range.
So far, so bad because he's not driving the ball at all. Well, he's just not driving the ball at all. And I laughed out loud last night. The next story I read after this story is Frank Vogel is saying before the game last night, we need more shots at the rim. And I'm thinking, well, you got this 6'9" guy who weighs like 260 pounds, and he's pretty good at the rim. In fact, he's the best driver of the basketball I've ever seen in my life. Right. And he's still only 36 years of age, even though he's in year 19. Can he not drive it at all? At some point, you're going to get some calls, but you got to go stand there by yourself 15 feet away and make free throws, and he's a little shaky-handed. He's off to a pretty good start. He's 8 of 12. That's 67%. That means you're on pace to lose, like 5 more cases?
That's okay. But I'm not going to, first of all, I'm not going to lose it because we know LeBron to get on this hot streak where he hit 12 in a row, or he'll go like 8 of 11, and we'll be right back to my 73%, which I predicted. But the threes will continue to fall all year. Yeah.
LeBron James is a 34.5% career.
35%.
Okay, I'll give you 30. I'll round up. 35% career three-point shooter.
Okay.
He's at 48 right now. Do you know the term regress to the mean? That's what the analytics say, regress to the mean. The mean is 35%.
I'm going to split the difference with you.
Okay.
I mean, we on the high end. I'm going to come down to the middle. We see you right down the middle, 40% for the season.
Okay. It is hurting my eyes to watch LeBron play off the ball. He does not belong off the ball. It hurts my eyes to see him become a sort of spot-up three-point shooter because that's not what he does greatest. What he does greatest is run the show.
But Skip, right now, we have to find out what's the best way to maximize everybody's ability that they have that's on the court. And we know it revolves around the big 3.
Okay. Better point guard, Russell Westbrook or LeBron James? Thank you.
Okay, but Skip, you can't just say, well, I'm the better point guard, I'm going to be it, because now we lose Russ. Russ, we need Russ to give us something around 17, 18, about 10 rebounds, and probably like 7 or 8 assists. If he can do that, and LeBron gives us his 25, AD gives us 28 and 12, we're going to be gravy.
Who's going to lead in usage rate? Because the other night against Memphis, when they both played, Russ was way up on LeBron on usage rate. In fact, it went Russ #1, and then it went AD, and then it went Carmelo, and LeBron was 4th in usage rate. That's just wrong.
Right. But that's just the way the game worked out. Melo had it going, so we got to give Melo the ball. LeBron was playing off the ball, so Russ had the ball more than LeBron. And AD, we got to feed AD. I mean, with AD playing like that, I ain't got no problem with it. I want AD to be leading usage rate. If he going to dominate like he did last night, give me 35 and 17 with 7 offensive boards, give AD the rock.
Okay, well, actually, you're correct about that because last night, AD had the ball 34% of the time. That's high. Russ had the ball 33% of the time. Russ was the initiator. He was the quarterback. He was the point guard. And down the stretch, when it was time, Russ just put his head down and attacked the basket. Bull in China shop. And he broke some dishes along the way. But, man, he took the game over, too. And he made 7 of 10 shots in fourth quarter and overtime.
But did you get the main course? Yes, we spilled some water. But did you get your entree? Was it nice and hot? So can I get a tip, please, sir? A nice, generous tip. Yes.
For beating the Spurs?
Hold on. See?
In what was a Laker home game?
It wasn't a Laker home game. That was an AT&T.
Yeah.
That was y'all home arena.
No,
it is our home away from home now.
LAAT&T, right?
It's our home. It's our home away from home now.
Well, you've made it that way. And my Spurs missed all 7 of their free throws in the fourth quarter, or we'd be having a way different conversation.
All it would have required was the AD now. And I thought AD missed a couple of bunnies. I thought he was going to have a 40 and 20. All that would have done, you'd have just made Russ go get 40 and have 40 and 13 rebounds. AD would have had a 40-20 ball game. That's all that would have happened. Okay. You guys weren't getting out of there. Russ and AD said, we're not losing tonight, Spurs.
No.
And they didn't let it happen.
Not to Keldon Johnson when he's going 2 of 10.
And then we
Not to Jakob Poeltl when he's going 27 and 14. When his career averages are 6 and 6.
And then guess what? And then we had Hillbilly Kobe coming that thing and light it up. Yeah, you saw him, Skip.
Hillbilly
Kobe. That's him. That's him.
But you realize he played every minute, did Austin Reeves of the fourth quarter last night. Right. So LeBron has blessed him. And assistant coach Vogel is saying, I guess I got to play him the whole way.
Skip, you saw the man hitting them threes.
He made one.
He hit 2. He hit 2, and then he put the, fake the 3, put it on the floor, pull up from the free throw lines, switched it. I said, look at him. Look at Kobe.
He made 34% of his threes in college basketball last year because I watched just about every game at Oklahoma.
What you want to bet he shoot better than 34% in the NBA?
Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah,
because as LeBron blessed him by saying he's got dog in him. That's what he said.
He did. He does. That's what we got.
Okay, but we're avoiding the subject here, which is that LeBron James is shooting from an average distance of 18.3 feet per shot.
Good.
That is by far the highest of his career because he's turned into a Kareem-chasing three-point shooter. I want everybody to see it and feel it. 10 a game he's attempting.
I just want you to know, 18 feet, that's a layup. That's a layup for Go James. You say you want him to drive the ball, he's driving it. He's just pulling up from 18. That's how skilled he is, Bayless. That's a layup.
I did not nickname him LeBrick for the wrong reason.
Why you think I called him GOAT? Why you think I called him the GOAT? Because that's what he is.
Well, you're the only one.
What did Shaq say? What did Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant big man in the history of the game? You say, no, but I've never seen a force of nature like Shaq. What did he say?
If you catch Shaq, if TMZ caught him today coming out of somewhere in Beverly Hills, he'd say Oscar was the GOAT.
No, he wasn't. The man is spoken, Skip. Now, you need to stop trying to refute what these men say. The man said that he the GOAT.
Yeah. Well, all I know is I don't trust LeBron shooting threes, and you don't either.
18 feet, that's a layup.
Yep.
I mean, he out there looking like Steph Curry to me.
Oh, does he?
He looking like Steph Curry.
Well, let's up our bet then to 40%.
No.
Why not? Have some guts. Have the courage of your conviction.
You just tried to hate. You tried to hate on old GOAT James. He got something for OKC tonight. He played for OKC tonight. He gonna get you 30 and 10. Pencil it in.
The worst team in the West.
That's y'all.
Way to go. Well, okay, you get them back to back because LeBron said, "Commish, I need a break early. Give me, if we have to go on the road, give me San Antonio and Oklahoma City."
We're managing, right? We're managing.
No mercy.
David Ortiz is giving away $25,000 for Game 2 of the World Series tonight on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Super 6 players have won over $5 million, and you could be next to win Big Papi's money. He's giving it away, guys. Scan the QR code, download the app, and answer 6 questions about the game before the first pitch tonight on Fox, starting at 7:30 Eastern. Don't miss out. It is free to play. Enjoy the game. Win some money. Well, the Cowboys are 5-1 and look to keep rolling against my Vikings on Halloween this Sunday. The hype, though, surrounding the team is particularly strong in the Dallas area, where local media is now saying that this team has by far the best chance to end the franchise's 25-year Super Bowl drought, even more so than the teams that made the playoffs in 2007, 2014, or 2016. So, Shannon, does this Cowboys team have the best shot at getting to the Super Bowl since the 90s dynasty?
Nope. 2007.
No.
That team was the #1 seed, Skip. That team had 13 Pro Bowlers. Let that sink in, people at home. That's an NFL record that's only been one time. The Ravens tied it Lamar's MVP season. Tied it. 13 Pro Bowlers. 5 players with either first or second team. They're Pro Bowlers on offense. Tony Romo, T.O., Jason Witten, Marion Barber, Flozell Adams, Andre Garrard, and Leonard Davis. On defense, DeMarcus Ware, Roy Williams, Ken Hammond, Terrence Newman, Greg Ellis, and the kicker. So are you telling me this team will have 14 Pro Bowlers? A simple yes or no?
Is it my turn?
No, I just want you to answer that question. Do you believe that?
Okay, thank you.
And here's the thing. The team that beat them in the divisional round, they had beat them twice in the regular season. The team that the Giants went and beat, they had beat Green Bay. Not Brett Favre out of the game. That was Aaron Rodgers' first time getting action. So they were sitting pretty. All the teams that were in their way to getting to the Super Bowl, they had beaten it, had crushed in the regular season. And then all of a sudden the Cowboys know what they do. Cowboyish things come playoff time. So I'm going to say no. I believe, because here's the thing, Skip, right now, they third or fourth best, at best, in the NFC. You know that, I know that. The Cards are better than them. The Rams are better than them. The Bucks beat them, so they're better. So they fourth right now. Right on the top of the head, right off the top. They fourth.
Who does Pro Football Focus rank the best offense in pro football right now? Thank you.
Hold on. What are the rankings? What are the power rankings? Everybody power rankings. Which team is first? The Cardinals. Where are the Cowboys ranked? I've never seen a power ranking where the Cowboys have been anything higher than fourth.
We got something for Arizona. We got something. We're waiting for them to come back and visit again because we got a little revenge, sweet revenge waiting for them.
D-Hop got something for y'all, too.
All right. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
You are wrong, 1,000 times wrong about the 2007 Dallas Cowboys. I did not like any part of that team. You can have all your Pro Bowlers you want, but I will take Dak Prescott over Tony Ono anytime, any place, any day, Sunday, Monday, Thursday, you name the day. I will take Dak Prescott over Tony Romo any way, shape, or form.
How much of this are you holding over his head that he went to Cancun with Jessica Simpson?
That was my next point. Thank you very much for doing that, because they go 13-3. They get the bye. They have the #1 seed in the NFC. And all of a sudden, Tony and Jessica talk somehow. Jason Witten and his wife.
Jason, stop doing that. You were talking about he talked Jason Witten to Jason Witten, a grown man.
Well, he was acted like a child because he went along with Tony and Jessica to Cabo San Lucas for the break before the playoffs.
It was the break before.
I did not love any part of it. It was the wrong message to send to your team. I don't think Shannon Sharpe would have sent that kind of message to his team.
That's different, Skip.
Thank you very much. And it set the wrong tone to get ready for the upstart Giants. You had already beaten twice, so, we got this, right? Okay, and they're coming to Texas Stadium as a road wildcard team that had somehow gone to Tampa the week before and won a game 24-14. Right. As Eli was starting to turn into playoff Eli, right? And so here they came, and who is the other player on that team I never quite trusted? It's the guy I nicknamed Team Obliterator.
Oh, no, so now it's his fault. He didn't go to Cabo or wherever they went.
He did not, but I just never trusted in the biggest moments, the biggest games, that Terrell would come through for my Dallas Cowboys. He and the coach were always at odds. Obviously, it wasn't Parcells. That was a Wade Phillips team. But it was about to unravel pretty quickly for Terrell. And remember, it unraveled for Tony during the game because when I least expected it, what always happens with Tony Romo?
You know what happens.
What happens, you know and I know, he's going to throw it to the team in the other jersey, right? He's going to throw it to the team in the Giants blue jersey. And he did it. What was it? It was late in the game. And he got one shot at it. Here it is. It's from the 23-yard line, 4th and 11, and he throws it to R.W. McQuarters from Oklahoma State University. He steps right in front of Terry Glenn, and that ended that one. And what did that lead to? A classic T.O. interview after the game. Could we please see that? There's Tony Romo again to R.W. McQuarters. Game over. Thank you very much. 21-17 Giants. There he is, Terrell Owens. You know what he's saying?
This is my quarterback.
It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair. We lost as a team.
See? And T.O. always been a team player. He took up for him. He stood up for him when the outside media crushed Tony Romo. And when it came down, when the rubber needed to meet the road, Tony Romo sold T.O. out.
I'm sorry. I thought Terrell was piling on Tony because he knew exactly what was happening, that Tony was going to take all the blame, and he wanted to make sure he got none of it. That's my quarterback. He's crying crocodile tears.
There you go. See, now the man showing emotion. The man said, look, y'all piling on. Y'all blaming Tony Romo. We 13-3 as a team. Now we lost. We lost as a team. Don't do Tony like that. When he should have said, he should have just handed him to him. Yeah. I'd have propped him up. Yeah, you're right. If had that been me, go to Cabo. Y'all have butchered me.
Yep. Okay. So, again, Romo took the fall because he should have taken the fall. And he went to the Pro Bowl with 36 touchdown passes to 19 interceptions. That's a lot of picks.
That's a lot of picks. Oh, yeah. You didn't have a good year. You throw 19 interceptions right now. You're not having a very good season.
I told you I never trusted him. I told you that the all-time classic Romo game was that 500-yard game against your Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning at Jerry World. And what happens at the last second when I least expected it? He throws it to the guy in the orange jersey. Danny Trevathan.
Thank you.
Picks it off, and you could have taken a picture of him picking it off, and leaves Denver with a chip shot, walk-off field goal. What was it, 51-48?
51-48.
Yeah, way to go. That's the vintage, classic, mantelpiece Tony Romo.
I'll count on that.
And I love Tony as a broadcaster. He's sensational. We get all that. And he had his moments of sensation as a quarterback. But I just never trusted him. That's why I didn't trust that team.
But let me tell you who did trust him more than you. That guy that was standing on the sideline with his arms folded. As a matter of fact, he trusted him more than he trusted Dak Prescott. And I'm not so sure if you put him on the line to take the test, he wouldn't say, you know what, I believe Tony Romo will give us a better chance to win than number 4.
Okay, what did Jerry say as Tony retired? He said, my one regret, my lone, I have only one regret. That I couldn't help Tony win a Super Bowl.
No, Tony couldn't help you.
Well, whatever. Yeah. Well, it just... Tony Romo was an undrafted free agent out of Eastern Illinois.
Okay.
And you know and I know
him out.
He's one of those try-hard guys.
Yes.
He's going to try as hard as he can, but he got a little crazy, and he grew up a Brett Favre fan, so he's got a little Brett in him, and he's got the haywire gene. It's going to go haywire. He's going to try something he shouldn't try.
But the thing that made people fall in love with him was the ability they could snap the ball over his head, and he'd run around and pick it up and throw, and he'd throw for a touchdown. All those things.
Okay, but when did I first notice Tony Romo? Was in a playoff game under Parcells at
Seattle?
At Seattle.
When he bobbled a snap.
Yeah.
That's what I knew he was named Tony O-O.
So he was Tony O-O. So hit him right in the hands. But
we got that footage?
New slick ball. I don't know if we have that one. I'm not sure we do.
How we not get that?
Well, because it's not fair to pile on.
It is.
Poor man.
I can't think of a better time.
Just acknowledged that he bobbled a snap, and then he tried to run with it, and he just
I'm here for
can't run.
I'm all about the rugby scrum.
Okay.
All about piling on.
Okay, well, I'm all about piling up on this team this year because it's as Troy Aikman, the great Troy Aikman said, speaking of great Cowboy quarterbacks last week, I just like the way they handle themselves. You just watch them. What do I keep talking about? This team has a personality to it. It has a swagger to it. It has a vibe to it that just reeks of, we're going to win this game. I think they walk onto the field expecting they're going to win. That team never was sure of itself. Yeah.
What'd you say? Tell Skip. Tom Brady.
Well,
tell Skip Cowboys not going anywhere. They're not going to beat you. Okay. Tom said, hey, get that thought out your head.
Okay, we're talking about who has the best shot.
Y'all ain't got no shot. How you got a shot with Tom Brady?
Okay, of all the Cowboy teams since the 95 team, we could go 96, 97 when they had a chance. They were starting to fall apart injury-wise. But those teams, the dynasty, as it ended, the best shot any team has had since the dynasty is this year's team, not 2007. I did not trust it at all. That was a hard team to even be a fan of.
How you going to trust this team with Mike McCarthy? With all his bonehead, time management, clock issues.
What did I predict? I predicted before the season, we will win in spite of.
No way.
In spite of.
Have you ever seen a team win a championship in spite of, even though the coach made bonehead decision after bonehead decision?
Yeah, I did. It was called the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback and Mike McCarthy is the head coach. They overcame. I'm going to give Aaron high marks on this one. Somehow he overcame. Ray Jennings overcame Mike McCarthy.
Guess what? It never was a situation where they had to use timeout because they were really blitzing people on the road. Only the Super Bowl game back because they blew out the Falcons.
Well,
they blew those guys out.
The Eagles game went to the wire, and Michael Vick made one wrong decision late in the game and threw it to the wrong guy in the end zone.
So they took that out of his hand. But unfortunately, teams know now we just need to keep it close and make Mike McCarthy have to make decisions.
Okay. But I've told you, we will overcome him.
You're not overcoming him. First of all, you're not overcoming Matthew Stafford. Forget those decisions. Matthew Stafford, you're not overcoming. You're not overcoming Kyler Murray. And if you're very fortunate enough to somehow sneak in and kick a field goal that hooks left and swings through the upright, Tom Brady. I'm going to get me a Tom Brady jersey. I'm going to become the biggest Tom Brady fan in the history of the world.
Okay. Well, I already predicted.
I don't care what your prediction.
I predicted
as long as the Cowboys, anybody but Cowboys.
Okay, I've told you from the start. I'm not sure I trust the defense, but who's got the hottest defensive player in pro football right now? Help me out.
I'm a firm believer in ABC. Anybody but Cowboys.
There's this kid who plays cornerback, a second-year cornerback that I have from Alabama. You love Alabama.
Yeah, I do. Hold on. But see, guess what? Ooh, Cooper Kupp. Robert Woods, Jefferson, and then if you go see Arizona, you're going to get a chance to see D-Hop. You're going to see A.J. Green, Christian Kirk, Rondale Moore. They loaded. Zach Ertz, he done got about an eagle flying. First man in NFL history to catch back-to-back touchdowns with 2 different teams.
DeMarcus Lawrence will be back soon at right defensive end. The left defensive end I predicted before the year. Randy Gregory is going to have a Pro Bowl breakout season, and here we come.
You know what you're going to do? You're going to be just like...
You predicted way ahead of me. Micah Parsons is going to be a difference maker, and he has been so far. All of a sudden, my defense under Dan Quinn is starting to look like a real live defense.
As a matter of fact, you just might have as many offensive players because Ty Smith, Zach Martin going to be in the Pro Bowl. Dak probably might make that. It's going to be close because you got Kyler, you got Stafford, you got Brady, you got Dak. So you got 4 guys
that's going to be a battle.
Zeke possibly can make it. One of your receivers might get in. So you might have as many guys on the offensive side of football, and I got a feeling you're going to have probably about 10 Pro Bowlers, and that's all you're going to have, 10 Pro Bowlers.
Diggs, Micah, Randy Gregory.
Okay.
Maybe D-Law, who knows?
D-Law ain't making no Pro Bowl after missing this many games.
He's made them before.
When the last time he made the Pro Bowl? When the last time he made the Pro Bowl?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a while since he's been a top 100 player.
Yeah.
So you count on a guy that's been out for 8 weeks, coming back, and all of a sudden.
I'm just saying, we might have 4 Pro Bowls on defense. Could we have, I don't know, 7 or 8 on offense? Sure.
And that's what you're going to have.
And all I care about is I got Dak at quarterback instead of Tony Ono.
And like I said, I'm going to get me a Brady jersey. I might call the man personally. Hey, Tom, I need this favor, bro.
I've got one. I'll loan it to you.
Hey, Tom, no, I don't want yours. I'm going to get my own. I say, bro, I need this favor.
Yep.
I say, you got to do this for me.
Okay.
Do you think he would do it for you, though?
Yeah.
You guys you're close enough to make that happen?
After you called him a liar about
I didn't tell you go. See, you always
called him a liar.
You tried to undercut my jersey, see? You tried to undercut my jersey.
He called you a liar.
I'm gonna give you an autograph.
You made up your 20.
I'm gonna give you an autograph. I'm gonna give you an autograph jersey.
I remember that.
You a hater, Skip. You a hater.
I'm not a Brady hater.
I cannot tolerate these Cowboys fans.
I'm also not a Laker hater. Only one of you guys over there.
No mercy.
Well, despite having no LeBron due to a sore ankle, the Lakers had a successful first game on the road last night in a 125-121 win over the Spurs. Anthony Davis led all scorers with 35 points to go along with 17 rebounds, and Russell Westbrook had his best game as a Laker with 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. We're now joined by First Things First co-host Chris Broussard. So, Chris, was this the Russ you wanted to see?
Yeah. When LeBron's not playing. I'll take that, Russ, when LeBron's not playing.
Thank you.
You know, and that's one of the benefits. Look, you got Russell Westbrook to win a championship. But one of the fringe benefits is that when LeBron's out, whether it's for injury or he's just out resting during the course of a game that he's actually playing in, you don't have to be bad. And that's been the problem for the Lakers since LeBron's been there. The previous 3 years, they're 23-35 without LeBron. Now, they're still a pretty good team without LeBron now. And so they should be able, that should help them in the standings. It enables LeBron to get a little more rest. We know he wants to play, so I don't think he's going to be low managing. But when he needs a break, he can get it. And even during games, he can go out and not worry about them losing the lead every single time he goes to the bench. So that's a benefit. The problem, of course, is that LeBron's going to be playing. And I don't mean problem like, oh, they're better without him. No, they can't win a championship without LeBron. So they've got to figure out how the three of these stars can play together. And what I saw last night was that, as we've been saying, Anthony Davis needs to be at center. Because last night you had AD, Russ, Malik Monk, Kent Bazemore, and the lane was open. So AD lived at the rim. Russ, you saw Russ scored just about all of his points. I think he hit 1 3, but he scored basically all his points at the basket. So I actually think that their best lineup, their starting lineup, should be LeBron, Russ, AD, Malik Monk, and Kent Bazemore. You got a little bit of youth there. You got shooting. Malik Monk has turned himself into a very good three-point shooter. Yep. Couldn't shoot when he entered the league. Now he's 40% plus the last 2 years from three. He's young. He can focus on defending and hitting the three. Same thing with Bazemore. And the lane will be open for AD, LeBron, and most importantly, Russ to get to the rim and do what he does best. Because you even saw last night, he still can't shoot it all. So I think they may have uncovered something, and that's what they'll do. But yeah, that was great for Russ, but you can't, he's not going to be able to do that consistently with LeBron, nor should you want him to, because that would mean LeBron's game is being diminished, and that's not good for the Lakers.
Thank you. That's what I said. Yes, I love seeing this side of Russ. But, Chris, we've seen Russ do this with one other superstar on the court. He did this for what? A decade with Kevin Durant. We saw what he did when he went to Houston with James Harden. We saw him in Washington average a triple-double with Bradley Beal. So we know what Russ can do with another superstar. The question is, and still remains, what can he do with two superstars on the court? And you're right. On a night when LeBron is out, this is what you want to see from Russ. If AD's out, this is what you want to see from Russ. If Russ is out, I expect LeBron and AD, because they've been there, they played together, to put up huge numbers and to help the Lakers win. Yes, I love seeing this side of Russ, but anybody that thinks Russ can have this kind of impact with LeBron James on the court are fooling themselves. AD and Russ had 58 shot attempts. So in the process of AD getting 31 shot attempts and Russ getting 27, what the hell they expect LeBron to do? So what LeBron gonna be doing in all that time they doing all that?
Watching.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, you want to cause some conflict. The question is, and we've seen LeBron play a little different style because I believe he's more malleable than Russ. Russ has to play his style of basketball.
First time that word's ever been used on this show. I like it. Congratulations.
Russ has to play his style of basketball in order to be successful. He was sensational last night, Skip. I won't. And the effort, that play that he knocked out of his hand, like he knocked the ball out and he stole it, went down and threw the lob to DJ. Ain't nobody ever making that play. So on a night like last night, a Tuesday night in San Antonio, no disrespect to those other guys that they traded to get Russ, but they're not winning that game last night. With Kuz, with Harrell, even though they're playing with energy and Schroeder, they're not winning that game last night. Russell Westbrook, his 33, 10, and 8 was a reason along with AD, and this is why you got him. But I still want to see them play for an extended period of time, all three of these guys.
My turn. Last night, in my humble estimation, was the single worst thing that could have happened for LeBron James. He had to stand there at courtside in his gray hat and his gray sweater and his gray shorts.
Yeah.
Kind of an odd combination, but I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Because it was a gray area for LeBron to have to stand there and watch the horror movie that unfolded. It was Westbrook's dream come true. All of a sudden, the team that he grew up living and dying for, he was the point guard. He could take over because last night it was his team because there was no LeBron James. No more king. And Russ felt like he was king for a night. And we got 1,000% hell-bent attack mode Russell Westbrook. solo act, stat machine in all of his glory. And yet, it got you a W in what turned into a Laker home away from home game. Laker Nation took over AT&T Arena in San Antonio. I've never heard anything like it before. You could hear it just through the TV. Every time Russell scored at the rim, the place went nuts. They lifted the roof off AT&T for Russell Westbrook. And he finally actually, if we could see this, he made a 3 last night, and it was actually a big shot in the fourth quarter. 5 minutes left. Tie game. If we could see Russ make a 3, it was a sight for sore eyes. Here we go. Monk kicks it, and Russ says, "Oh, you're daring me to shoot this? I swish it." Put them up 3, and I said, well, that's 1 of 4 for the night. He's still Westbrook to me. But then he goes in sheer attack mode, and in the fourth quarter and overtime, he makes 7 of 10 shots. He closed while LeBron watched. But now Russ got a taste of being a solo act. Do you think that's going to play well tonight if LeBron does play, and I believe he will with Russ? How did it help their chemistry together? I think it only damaged it because it was nothing but fool's gold in San Antonio.
Last night was a short-term solution. But the question is, with AD hurting that knee, is AD going to play tonight? Because they might be in a very similar situation, Skip, where you only have 2 of the 3 stars. And then he'll get an opportunity to star again. But for me, none of that matters. Because guess what? Come playoff time, you hoping you have all 3 of them. So that's the question. How soon, Chris, can all 3 of these guys figure out how to play together? That's it.
Last night got you nowhere.
No, it didn't. It didn't. I agree with you 1,000%.
And yet, if my Spurs, what's left of them, hadn't missed all 7 free throws in the fourth quarter, we're having a different conversation. If DeJounte Murray doesn't miss the last shot, it was a pretty good look, a pretty clean look from about 17 feet. We're having a different conversation.
That's what y'all do. We've seen you guys miss free throws before.
You allowed Jakob Poeltl to go 27 and 14 when he's a career 6-6 guy.
Is he in
How
the NBA?
did you do that?
Is he in the NBA?
Well, come on. Is that your excuse? He's in the NBA?
Skip, he can have. Is he going to average 27 and 14 for the season?
How did AD and Dwight and DJ, how did they allow that to happen? 27 and 4. That was his career night.
Yeah, and we got our rebounded again.
Yeah.
And we got our rebounded again,
too. He was dunking on. He was dunking on.
Yeah, he was dunking on Bo. He was dunking on him. He got him.
But see, that's why I said that lineup I mentioned, you're getting out rebounded when you go big. And we know nowadays, like, bigs have to get out and guard on the floor, right, on the perimeter. And there's so many more jump shots than there used to be that there's a lot of long rebounds. And so that's a big reason why the Lakers are getting out rebounded, because guards are getting rebounds and smaller players and things like that. So they might as well go small. Look, AD is a great rebounder. Russ is a great rebounder. LeBron is a very good rebounder. That's enough.
Yeah.
If those 3 out there, you can put 2 smaller guys that can shoot on the floor with them, and you'll be better defensively and you'll be fine on the rebounding end. So, look, I will say this, Skip, about Russ. Yeah, last night, I mean, he got a taste of it, right? He got a taste of being Magic or Kobe or whatever Laker hero he had growing up. But I do think Russ has shown that he will defer. Like, when he went to Houston, he wasn't trying to take over Harden's team. When he went to Washington, he didn't try to take over Bradley Beal's team. And since he's been here, he hasn't tried to take over except for last night when they needed him to. The problem to me with Russ being like a 3rd star or even a 2nd star is not that he's not willing to do it mentally or in his mental makeup. It's that his game may not be built for that. Like, can he excel without having the ball in his hands, without being able to do whatever he wants to do? That's the question. It's not the mental makeup of, I mean, is he willing to defer to LeBron and AD? I think he is.
Okay, last quick point. Remember, Russ didn't grow up in Houston. He didn't grow up in D.C. He grew up in L.A. This is it for him. And once you give him a taste, he's going to want more of running his team in his town. Yep, here we go.
No mercy.
This week on Thursday Night Football, division leaders square off as Aaron Rodgers and the Packers take on Kyler Murray and the undefeated Cardinals. It all starts tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video. Well, according to Jerry Jones, the Bitcoin, signed jerseys, game ball, and season tickets for 2 seasons was not enough for the fan who gave back Tom Brady's 600th touchdown ball. Jerry said that the fan should have played hardball while negotiating giving the ball back. An auction house estimated the ball's worth to have been $500,000, guys. Shannon, is this the first time you and Jerry agree on something?
Yeah. Now, here's a man worth $8 billion. He's worth $8 billion.
Yep.
You say you got a guy in residency. Now, the guy that's worth $8 billion says he should
become a doctor.
Yes. He ain't going to be worth $8 billion.
No.
I don't care unless he finds a cure for cancer, Alzheimer's, or something like that.
Yep.
There's no possible way. Now, the man that already is worth $8 billion says, I would have played hardball. Because guess what? I would have gotten Skip Bayless had Shannon Sharpe got that ball.
Yep.
I got me one of them old Guerrero passes.
Yep.
Here, I get to go and come in Tampa facility anytime I want to. I got one of them.
Okay.
When they get on the plane, they go travel. Guess who they go see on the team playing with the boys?
Yeah.
You dap your boy up on your way by, Tom. Yeah. That round of golf that he wanted, Skip, the best way to negotiate, you got to be willing to walk away from any deal. If he don't offer you what you want, well, you know what? How many, I just want you to tell me this before I turn over you, Skip. How many of them old 600 footballs you think they got? How many 600 TD pass footballs are they? Because the more they are, the less valuable it is. I think it's only one. So that means it's really, really valuable. Well, guess what? I'm going to hold on to that thing. I'm going to double on it. I'm running up out the stadium.
Okay.
Now, you have to call my lawyer because guess what? We saw transfer ownership happens. I was on camera.
Yep.
I got the ball. I got the only one of them. So I want about 6 Bitcoins. I want 2 club-level seats.
Okay.
For the rest of my life.
Yep.
And I want to be on the team plane for the rest of the year. And I want to be able to... Yeah, that's what I want.
What else do you have in common with Jerry Jones? You both do not like Tom Brady. You hate Tom Brady. He does not love Tom Brady. I'll just go that far. You are completely missing the point. And Byron Kennedy, this young man, 29, who's going to become a doctor, gets the point because he says... You can't say no to Tom Brady. This guy's a born and raised Buccaneers fan, and he's become a huge Brady fan. He's asking for his 600 TD ball back. He's the one who earned it. I just got lucky because I was at the right place at the right time. If he had played hardball here, he would need witness protection in Bucks Nation because he would become a pariah.
I could afford it.
If he had held out and auctioned the ball off to the highest bidder, he might have gotten $1 million for it. And what it would be blood money. Blood money. You would have to pay for it with your fandom life.
Skip, I don't want to auction it off. I want Tom to have it. But I'm not going to fumble the bag in order for him to get it. That's what I'm not going to do. But that's my blessing. Why would I throw my blessing away?
Okay. Do you like the Buccaneers? Only if they can keep the Cowboys out of the Super Bowl. Do you like Tom Brady? Well, you despise everything Tom Brady, only if he can keep the Cowboys out of the Super Bowl.
Tom's my guy.
And he's not your guy.
He is my guy.
And you are not his guy for a fact. You even called him a liar about his MCL earlier in the show.
I tell you what, I wouldn't have...
You at least suggested he was lying about last year's MCL rupture.
That's a different argument.
Well,
but I'm saying, had he we could have been guys. If he want the ball back, the NFL, Skip, why would I take a $1,000 gift card from the Tampa Bay store? I'm giving them the $1,000 back. That's their store. Why would I give them anything back?
Byron Kennedy just became famous in Buccaneers Nation.
Infamous.
No, famous.
Skip, I'm not giving away my blessing. I'm not giving that.
He went down in history as the #1 fan, and Tom Brady will forever remember him.
Skip, stop this. Talk about, he sacrificed for Tom. He's not a member of the team. I'm not making no sacrifice for no team. That team's worth $3-4 billion. I'm gonna get something other than some signed jerseys. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so now we're taking the word of Jerry Jones, who does consider himself, because he has told me this before, he considers himself the greatest negotiator who ever walked this earth. And who am I to argue? Because he's worth billions of dollars.
Yeah, I think there are other people that's worked that's negotiated more deals than that.
I don't know.
Skip, I just saw Elon Musk is worth $289 billion.
Okay, good.
That's all. That's 30 Jerry Joneses.
Okay. Does money buy happiness? No.
No.
Can money buy Super Bowls? Well, not lately.
No, it can't, Skip. You're right. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy things that affect happiness. No. You know what I'm saying, Skip? It can't buy happiness, but it can buy things that affect your happiness.
I'm sorry. I love Byron Kennedy. I vouch for him. I believe in him. I defend him.
You go right ahead.
He's gone into the fandom Hall of Fame.
I would have been, Skip, guess what? With about 500,000, I could have bought my way right in there, right next to him. He could have he could have still been a hero and still got something more than some jerseys. Yeah. That's all I'm saying, Skip.
Way to go, Byron.
I just like that he wants to golf with
Brady.
I feel like Brady should make that happen. Take
it's too late now. He lost the leverage.
It's a win-win, right?
Like, he lost the leverage.
He's got all the.
He got no leverage. He ain't got no ball.
Did this man ever expect this attention? That's what I love so much about it. It's a never-ending story.
No mercy.
So LeBron publicly shared his disappointment in the hottest new Netflix series, Squid Game, earlier this month, saying that he didn't like the ending. The show creator didn't seem to care when asked about it in a new interview, quote, defending his choices and adding a dig by saying, quote, have you seen Space Jam 2? Harsh, Shannon, defend your guy LeBron.
And because he's LeBron James, it elicited a response from the director. I got no problem with the man defending his film. LeBron says he didn't like the ending, but he's LeBron James and he needs to understand. And I know he understands that, Skip. There's a reason why he's such a hot commodity for endorsement, because he can move the needle one way or another. So there's nothing to defend, and the guy was just defending his movie.
LeBron wanted to flex his film wisdom for all the gathered media to hear, and the show creator called him on it and shot him down with the all-time touche laugh out loud. Have you seen Space Jam 2? Yeah, I saw it was a big, loud mess of a movie.
I liked it.
Touche.
I liked it.
Got you.
It was a kid's movie.
I'm so confused. I got to get to it. All right, Skip Shannon, we're back same time tomorrow. Good stuff. Hurt is on now. Have a good day.
I like Squid Game.